So in City Skylines, the citizens love to walk. However, they only love to walk when they actually have something to do in that space. So if we put, for instance, something like this in here, let's just go with a little circle here. So the citizens will not use this as a walking path because there is nothing here where they can go to. There's nothing here where they can take a shortcut to walk the path and come out the other side. So even if we place down a bunch of props to make the area look really, really nice, it is just not attractive enough for the citizens to walk in here. Nobody's going here. However, if you have the Park Life DLC, you have the Tours tab and you have the walking tours where you can create points of interest. So we'll start here, we'll add a point of interest here by the gazebo, and we will complete the line. Now we have created this walking tour here. Now look, here we have somebody, a bicycle, Carol Lee, going to the walking tours. You can follow them around. And now we can make these little nooks and crannies, these areas here where there would usually not be any pedestrian traffic, we can make them friendly for pedestrian traffic by simply going to the Tours tab and creating a walking tours with points of interest. So if we grab a walking path and don't fully connect it to the road like this, but instead we go square out and connect it that way, we still have this little zoning square here. Now what we can do, grab a building, and we got a bank, and now the citizens are walking into the bank, going through it, and using the walking path. I think this is really cool. You can make a whole bunch of cool stuff. And depending on what spawns in, it looks really cool when the citizens use these assets that grow in here to walk through them. I just love that so much. I try to use this trick in my cities whenever I think about it. So if we want to connect two areas with walking paths, we can just simply create a walking path that goes along here, and citizens will use it. However, we can spice that up a bit because there are some parks in the game. Specifically, what I love to use for this one is Old Bridge Park from the Hotels and Retreats DLC. And if we place that one, we can see that citizens use this park. Now, obviously we could just place a walking path, but I do believe that placing this park here is really great. It's like an eye catcher for your city, for your citizens to walk through and cross these spaces between the roads. And of course, we can do that with other parks as well. Let's go to the Sidewalk Restaurant. There we go. No need to add another path. It auto-connected this path for us, and people will use this as a way to cross these areas between the roads. There we go. We got some customers right here. So they don't just visit these parks, but they use them as a way to go to the other side where they're going. Another cool hack is that we can actually have gaps between Ploppables and the roads. Now, if we grab a Ploppable building, let's go with a hospital, we'll have to place that on the road. And there we go. How can we get a bit more space between the road and the building? So easy enough. We'll just delete this road. So now the building has no road access after we've taken out the road, of course. And what we did is we took out this road. That's where the road usually is. But let's see if we can get that a bit further away from the building and still grant it road access. It has road access. It's operating normally. And we still have all of this space to work with. Now we have this 2-tile space. We can get some buildings. We could technically get another parking lot in here. Yes, indeed. We've added this parking lot in here, and we could get, I don't know, let's put down a metro station. Why not, right? So we got a building here, a store. We got this metro, so we got a parking lot. We can put some trees in there, and look at that. The building is still, the hospital is still functioning. It's still operating normally. There we go. We got an ambulance. Okay, it glitched a bit through the tree, but it's okay. It's really amazing that you can have these spaces in between. You can add more stuff to it. You could be creative with it. Not a problem. Okay, so let's talk dedicated turning lanes. If we connect a simple road like this, we do not have a dedicated lane going left and right. We have one lane for both directions, left and right. Easy as pie. What we can do, what I love to do, is either upgrade to a 4-lane road, and boom, you can upgrade to an asymmetrical road, which was part of the mass transit DLC because it looks really cool. And I just love that we can actually get dedicated turning lanes using various roads. If you are stuck in a money pinch in City Skylines, don't fret. As we go to the economy panel and go to the taxes, which unlock at the Little Hamlet milestone, what we can do now is crank it up all the way. We have to be careful. I've got mine set to 12% usually because that is the sweet spot where the citizens won't complain, find the city attractive enough so they will move in. However, if we crank up the taxes, we can see the weekly income rise, of course. Look at that. 68, 79,000. Yes, people complain, too high taxes. However, we can keep this up, 177,000 credits. Okay, the signs are red, not a problem. Look at that, we already made like a cool million with that. And before your citizens start moving out, go back into the economy tab, lower them all to 12 again, and they will stop complaining. Your income obviously goes back down, but you made a million in just a few days. I think that's a kind of a cool hack. If we want to have angled buildings, I got something. This is really cool. So what we usually do is when we place a, let's say a metro station or a park, let's go with a park. So let's say if we place a park, if we want to place a park, let's go with, I don't know, let's just go with this one. So what we can do is we can place it this way or we can place it this way. Obviously there's no way to like have it on a slight angle here. Now we can do the following. If we leave a couple of squares, create this sort of thing, then we can angle the park, place it here. It is connected, it's operating. However, if we take out the road, it has no road access. Now, what we can do to achieve a bit of a unique look is create this back up. And besides the power problem now, this building is connected to the road. Your Sims will use this park for their leisure time, and we can now come in, we can go to the paths, go to the dirt paths, get something going around here just to make it look more unique, a little bit nicer. We could put some shrubbery in here, get that like overgrown feel, maybe not that much, but for this example it should work fine. And I think you can make really cool, unique little areas with this trick. You could even put down some angled metro stations, add some bollards and some fences, maybe some other decorations, as much as you like. I think that is really, really amazing. One thing I really love to do is grab my roads, or when I'm trying to do another road layout here, I love to double up roads. Now, what do I mean by this? Obviously, there's like a limit where we can place the roads next to each other. There's always this gap. We can't really go closer, otherwise it will snap to the road. However, we can go pretty close to a road. So what I'm trying to do now, I use these squares of this road as an anchor point, and simply, there it was right there. Look at that. I doubled up the roads just like that. This can make for some really cool designs in my opinion. You can split off now right here, you could split off here for instance, and the best part is you can upgrade this as well. Look at that. Look at that. So you basically turned off collision. Wide sidewalks, not a problem. Road with a median, yep, not a problem. I think now that looks really cool. I think it looks really cool. That makes for some great design choices here. We can also get even more lanes. Look at the 4-lane road. Boom. Oh, we got a lot of lanes going in each direction here. I think that is amazing. You can incorporate this into your city, into your areas, and just make them a bit more unique. And the best part is, like, there's no intersection here, right? So we can simply do this. We can do this. We don't have to worry about how close the intersections are together. Visually, I think I really like this. Like, it looks like it's going to be congested pretty soon, but it's not. It's just like a T intersection, a T junction on both sides. And so the citizens will not cross this barrier here, of course, and we can just pretend it's like a median. And so I love this design. So when we create bridges in City Skylines, obviously they are going to look like this. Hey, a train, whoosh. And we have this space in between, or underneath, not in between, where we can technically place a road. Now, it's really cool that we can do this. However, if we're going for realism, a lot of bridges, if you go out and look, do actually have like ground underneath. So what I love to do sometimes is go into the shift terrain. If I right click, I can raise the terrain, and if I just do this, I can raise it I can raise it pretty high, but we don't want to do that. We want to only raise the terrain underneath this bridge. So I'll just click in the middle here, hold right click. There we go. It is pretty good. Yeah, that seems good for me. Now I go to level terrain and I use right click to set the height, and now drag the left click and I can create this bit of land here that won't go over top of the tracks for this bridge. Now we have this, we're left with this. We can go to soften terrain now, and we can soften this out, just smooth it out ever so gently so it's not too harsh. I mean, if you're obviously, you can go for that look if you want to, but I love to use to soften it up a bit, have this be like a gentle slope sort of, and I just feel like it is a tad bit more realistic. I don't always go for realism because after all, it is just a game, but sometimes I like to do this, and that's not, we don't have to be done. We don't have to be done with this. We can come and decorate with rocks, trees, rock formations, and that's how I like to sometimes go about creating the bridges, just to make it look a bit more realistic than simply having them elevated all the way, which is not bad, again, for roads underneath the tracks or underneath the bridges, whatever bridge it is, but I like this as well. Sometimes I take the time and do that. And also, once again, I want to give a quick but huge shout outs to my YouTube members and patron supporters. We have Serhi, Astro, V1 Rotate V2, Sean Mzamfa, and Jukaboa. Thank you so much for the support, gang. I really appreciate it. Also, for everyone out there that enjoys interacting on Discord, I just finished setting up a brand new Discord server. Everything regarding City Skylines, the link is in the description below.